My name is Dr. Sophia, and today we are going to talk about blood typing. The surface of erythrocytes contain characteristic antigens on them which are made of glycoproteins or glycolipids. These antigens, which are genetically determined, are called agglutinogens, and they contribute to the assignment of blood groups to the human body. So depending on what antigen is present on the surface of the RBC, the blood group is formed. There are 24 different kinds of blood groups and more than 100 antigens that occur on the surface of the RBCs. Depending on what antigen is present on the surface of the RBC, you get your blood group. So for example, if you have antigen A on your RBCs, that means you have blood group A. Now there are two major blood group systems. This is ABO and RH blood group systems. Others include the Kell, Lewis, Duffy, etc. Types of blood groups. So, according to the ABO system, there are 4 blood groups depending on the presence of the antigens. So, that can be A, B, AB and O. On the other hand, depending on whether the RH factor is present or absent, the blood group can be either positive or negative. So, 4 blood groups from the ABO system and 2 types of blood groups from the RH system, hence 4 into 2 equaling 8 types of blood groups are predominantly present in the human species. Antibodies and antigens. Now, we have already discussed that blood has a liquid component called plasma, in which the formed elements RBCs, WBCs and platelets are submerged. Now, antigens are glycolipids or glycoproteins that are present on the surface of erythrocytes or RBCs, whereas antibodies are proteins present in the blood plasma. Antibodies are the body's natural response to any kind of infection or any kind of foreign invasion. Depending on the presence or absence of these antibodies and antigens, blood groups are divided. The ABO blood grouping system. Now, according to this, the blood types can either be A, B, AB or O. If antigen A is present on the surface of the erythrocyte, the blood group is A. If B is present, antigen B, blood group B. If both antigens A and B are present, then the blood group is AB. If both antigens A and B are absent, then the blood group is O. Now we are not taking into account the positivity or negativity because that depends on the rhesus system. We are just talking about the alphabet, which is either AB, B or O. Now we've spoken about how antigens determine the blood group. Antigens and antibodies of the ABO blood group system. The number one thing that you need to remember is this: Karl Landsteiner's law. Landsteiner's law clearly states that if an agglutinogen is present on the surface of an RBC of a patient's blood, then the corresponding agglutinin has to be absent. And if an agglutinogen is absent from a red blood cell of a person, then the corresponding agglutinin has to be present in the plasma of that blood. This means that if a person's body or blood has antigen A on its RBC, the anti-A antibody will be absent from its plasma, and instead anti-B antibody will be naturally present in its plasma. So, in a natural occurrence, if you are taking blood group A, for example, blood group is determined by the antigen present on the RBC. So, A antigen will be present, and according to Landsteiner's law, the corresponding antibody, that is anti-A antibody, will be absent. Whereas the other antibody, that is anti-B, will be present in a blood group of a person whose blood group is A. On the other hand, if you take AB, in that case, both antigens are present. So, both antibodies will be absent from the plasma. Now, agglutinins appear around birth, just soon after birth, but their presence, which is continued lifelong, remains unclear. Perhaps it's because of the body's response to the bacteria in the gastrointestinal tract that they appear and persist for so long. Now, the agglutinins, the antibodies that contribute to blood grouping, they are of the IgM variety. Hence, they are large molecules that normally do not cross the placenta. However, in certain conditions, crossing occurs, leading to problems.